All right, everybody, we're back from our short break here for more Star Wars: Age of Rebellion with an intro by Bebo. Um, so, when we left off, we were just heading to go shopping for some fancy clothes to go meet with the governor of the station, so that we can get onto a freighter that we're supposed to be basically hijacking. So, Mike, take it away.
Yeah, so he takes you to this clothing store that's a little ways away from where his little oddity shop is. It's in it's a different district than his shop, but he takes you to what looks like a pretty busy clothing store that has some what normally would look like pretty expensive clothing in it that probably none of you would go to if you were buying your own clothing, but Pask has offered to at least pay for this aspect of this little plan that you guys have going here, just to mostly not want to get murdered by Bebo, probably. So yeah, so you're in the shop, and what kind of clothing do you guys want to look for? How snazzed up do you get?
Lark isn't really like super familiar with what all getting snazzed up really entails. Like that's just not really her thing. So she's just kind of like probably just following Eos around and being like whatever Eos is getting, she's probably just like, yeah, sure, great.
Do you kind of like try to follow her lead?
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like girl packing, you know?
It's true. I mean, I used to get dolled up all the
Yeah.
time, and I've really simplified my attire since escaping that life. But being in a position where something is being purchased for me for a better cause than other causes I've been a part of,
Yep.
I'm down to get snazzed up.
All right. How much assistance do you offer to Lark with her purchasing of clothing?
Well, I am willing to offer any and all assistance. Really, I pretty much grew up in the beauty department of um, every powerful family that I have served or been enslaved to. So whether I like it or not, I got a lot of insight. So is this
Okay.
something that we would need to roll for with anything, or is this
No,
just general?
no, we're not gonna make any rolls for this particular thing. You're in the store and you're finding some fancy-ish clothes, to get yourself dressed up to go and talk to the governor.
That sounds good to me.
Curious as to what Zabo does.
So he would look at Pask and kind of say to him, like, you say that you know your armor is good looking, right?
I suppose that's one way to interpret what I said. Yes.
Would you help me pick mine out?
He is super down for that, and he takes you off into another corner of the store away from the party to help you find your clothing, and we'll have that reveal in a little bit after everyone else has picked theirs.
Okay.
So to clarify between Eos and I, like, I never actually really even ask her for help. I'm not like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need your help. It's more of a stubborn, just sort of like tagging along, and like, I never really asked for her help, but like, whenever she like looks at something for a second, I'm like, oh yeah, and that's kind of what I like gravitate toward.
Do you want me to straight up make suggestions to you? Like,
That's up to you if that's what your character would do.
I feel like I could be pretty bold in that aspect. So I'm finding stuff for myself, and I'm like, oh hey, try this
You're like
on.
holding it up to me. I'm just like very
Yeah.
uncomfortably like, yeah, that might fit.
Yep. So I'm very assertive with you, telling you to be confident in your good looks and to embrace the snazzy side of yourself.
Okay.
Right.
I just kind of like accept whatever you hand me. So what did you hand me?
So as for myself, I'm ready to go all out. I am interested in a very intense color. I'm thinking like a red sort of, perhaps even ball gown style dress. Just something that's very bright and that kind of conveys a sense of intensity and power. That's what I'm going for. And so I hold up to you like something, let's say indigo. You know, got a nice plunging neckline, so
Oh.
you're
Ugh.
maybe a little slap the side, something a little risque, just to
Whoa.
challenge
Where
you.
am I gonna put my gun?
So, it doesn't have to go all the way up. I'm just saying something that makes it look as if you are there to impress, not necessarily to start a fight. So
Okay.
something that puts out that you're confident in your appearance, and then gives you the opportunity to hide the weapon that you need, just in case. So it's more of a shock if it needs to be pulled out. So
Okay, sure.
that's what I say.
Sure, yeah, I mean, so whatever it is that you hand me, whatever indigo thing with a slit up the leg you hand me, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take it.
Do it. It looks good on you, girl.
Thanks, girl. Shoot.
I got you.
So I assume you kind of get changed into your clothing, and you haven't been bothered by any store attendants, because it seems like Pask is known here at this particular store, and he let them know that you're with him for the day. After you guys get done with your clothing, then Pask, he's standing next to a dressing room, and he's kind of tapping his foot a little bit, and he's speaking to you, Zabo. He's like, "Are you done yet?"
Yes, friend. I'm coming out now.
Okay, so you come out and you're wearing this, like, try to imagine one of the most over the top, like, all white suit pieces that you can, and he's got it's all white, like the shirt's white. It's got black buttons and black kind of like jeweled cufflinks, and white pants, white shoes, and then a white hat as well. And that's what he has fitted you with.
Zabo's kind of like,
And it's like tight and uncomfortable for you a little bit. It was like fitted maybe for someone slightly smaller than you, and so it's a little awkward to move around in. It doesn't rip or anything, but it pulls on you, like
okay.
a slightly too small dress shirt.
I try to like put the hat on over my like horns that are on my head, and I'm like kind of like put it on there a little like skewed off or something, but and I go, I never knew that white and orange could look so good.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
And he's like,
Creamsicle style.
He thinks it looks great. Pask thinks it looks great.
okay, Zabo's kind of like, okay, whatever you think, man.
Yep.
You said this looks good, so I'm cool with that, I guess.
What about Bebo? What Bebo wear?
I don't know, like a button. I mean,
Just a little bow tie.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think. Bevo has been around the Imperials when they party. Bevo just needs a polish.
Yeah. You would probably know that Imperials don't really
Hang out with
expect or want their droids to dress in clothing
Or speak to them.
or speak to them at all. Yeah.
It's too humanizing.
But I'm sure that for the purposes of this store, they might have someone who offers to give you a little bit of a polish,
Sure.
So Bebo's all shined up.
Cool.
All right. So you guys walk out of the store, and Pask turns to you, Zabo, and he says, "You're still wanting that vibro knife, are you?
Indeed.
Hey, we can probably take care of that before we go see the governor. So
I would like that very much.
I'm not paying for this one for you though.
I will handle it.
Okay.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah. He leads you off to even another area of the station and brings you into kind of one of the few weapons or equipment shops that's on the station. A lot of the equipment shops that are here sell stuff that's more geared towards equipment for space travel and stuff that you would keep on your spaceship for, space emergencies, because it's like it's a space station that you refuel at. It's kind of like a gas station almost, and but there is one that has a few assorted, very basic weapons, and Pask, he says, "Wait here," to you, like at the entrance to the store, and walks up to the guy, and you can see them talking, and the guy behind the counter nods his head and walks into the back, and Pask motions for you to come on over.
So yeah, I walk on over to him.
It's like, I've known this man for a while. He'll be able to take care of us real quick. All right? Hopefully you got those credits, because he expects them.
All right. How much does he want?
Well, this is a, like I said, it's an unusual item on this space station. There's he's the only one that ever carries them, and he only carries them very rarely. So the figure that he gave to me is 300 credits.
Okay.
Okay.
He just kind of like nods.
Yeah. So after a few minutes, the shopkeep comes out, and he has a nice looking box, and he sets it on the counter and takes out the packaging, and on the counter he sets down the vibro knife. What is it you have in your head as to what this vibro knife looks like, Ian?
I would imagine it just kind of looks like, maybe like, I don't know. I have this thing for karambit, so I always imagine them to be like that. Nice hooked blade. Little rings so he can spin it on his finger, things like that. So I imagine that might be what it looks like.
All right. Yeah, that's fair enough for me. You can have blades in all different shapes and sizes, even when you're talking about vibro knives, just like regular knives.
Cool.
So go ahead and mark the 300 credits off your inventory, and you now have a vibro knife.
All right.
So I think after that, the party can meet up in maybe one of the common areas of the station to try and kind of discuss what's going to come next, if you guys want.
Sure.
Pask, go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah, I was going to say Pask gives you the basic rundown. He's like, so I'm personally familiar with the governor, okay? I have a good relationship with her for good reasons, and she knows not to cross me. But I would rather not ruin this good relationship, okay? I don't want to burn any bridges here, but I can introduce you, say that you're some associates of mine, that you're in station for a few days, just visiting and conducting business with me, and that you requested to have an audience with the governor, because because you just wanted to see who was in charge of such a beautiful station. She would definitely take well to flattery, just so that you know, in case. But her name is Varla Prule, and that's Varala. Prule.
Okay. I look at Pask and I say, are there any sorts of gifts we're supposed to have? I mean, what's the norm for her?
The norm. Are you asking about gifts of flattery, or are you inquiring about gifts of a different kind?
We come into her home, and a friend of hers says you should have dinner with these people. Is it customary to have a gift for a greeting?
Like a hospitality.
Um, Hospitality, probably not.
Okay, cool.
She most likely wouldn't expect that.
All right. What is she most proud of on the station? Do I need to roll a check to figure that one out, or
Are you just asking?
I'm asking them.
Pass?
Yeah.
She is very, very prideful of the fact that we have very little problems that occur on this ship as far as you know,
Skullduggery.
trouble. You wouldn't say. Sure, that word works
There's
too.
very little skullduggery on this.
Yes.
All right.
She
Good to know.
she
She runs a tight ship.
she tries to, but not very many people find very much reason to cause trouble here. To be frank, you know, uh, if someone wanted to cause trouble, then they probably wouldn't encounter a whole bunch of resistance. But this station is unimportant, and she knows it, and she's a little resentful of that.
Okay.
Are you I want to ask Pask if he's personally friendly with her, or if she's just the top dog on the.
According to what he's told you, then they're on a first name basis, kind of a relationship.
Okay.
So I think that they're on a first name basis because she can be a little interested in the kinds of stuff that he sells, and he's one of the few people on the station that knows where to require, the strange things from the galaxy.
What have you sold to her?
Oh, various things. I sold her. Let's see, a couple womp rats. She has them as pets. It's very strange. A few artifacts from some outer rim planets. Just various trinkets and things that you can't get anywhere else. Mostly, you know.
Do you have anything she would be interested in?
Currently, she hasn't expressed any interest in my current stock. She's come in to visit a few times, but yeah, she has not expressed interest in anything specifically.
Can we ask Pask if he has any other information about the trade route or the freighter that he hasn't already divulged to us?
Would you like to outright ask him about all that stuff right now, like in the middle of essentially the courtyard?
No.
Okay. Just double checking.
I thought we were aside. Okay.
You're in the general common area of the station.
Okay.
Just discussing, and he's giving you the lowdown on the governor by a little bit. Well, if the four of you are ready, then we can go and attempt to make this dinner happen.
Sure. Lead on.
All right.
All right. So he leads you on towards the center of the station, and there's slightly more guards the further in you get, but you notice more patrols. A lot of them seem like a lot of them are just having idle conversation with each other. They're not paying very much attention you can tell that a lot of these guards, they just are the kind of guards that are just waiting to get through the day, just to go home. So, yeah, but he takes you over into the command center area, and there's a little screen that he presses on, and he rings the bell essentially, and a voice comes over the intercom and says, "What is your business?" And Pask speaks up and says, "Tell Varla that Pask is here and he has guests." It's like one moment over the intercom, and probably about 30 seconds or so pass, and guy comes back over the intercom and says, "Come on in. Pask, you know which floor to go to?" "Yes, sir." And the doors open into an elevator, and you all can walk into the elevator.
I'm in there.
Right.
As I'm walking in though, I'm thinking to myself like, okay, is there any sort of way I can hide my blaster on me?
In the clothing that you're in,
Oh yeah,
you have a light blaster pistol.
I have
Is
a
that
I have
correct?
a light blaster pistol and a combat knife. Yeah.
Mm.
The combat knife would be fairly easy to conceal, and
And the blaster pistol maybe not.
yeah, the blaster pistol probably not. We could say that you left it at Pask's shop if you want.
Sure.
And my knife, would that be able? I'd be able to hide that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the whole like inner thigh, combat
Yeah.
knife holster thing going on.
I figured that's what you were
I
doing.
mean, I can't think of anywhere else to hide it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would have envisioned for you.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you, dear.
And I still have my poison ring, right?
Yeah.
Just my part of my bling.
So, Pask punches in the floor. It's not to the top floor, but he knows exactly where to go, and the elevator goes up, and then the doors open, and when you enter into the room, it's a fairly sparse area with it is a pretty nice dining table in it, but this is what you might consider to be the dining area that is just reserved for regular guests that might come to see the governor, maybe for political dinners or things like that. And Pask walks past that one and into another door that leads you into a second dining area that's a little bit more personalized to the governor. And there's several of the different kinds of oddities that you would assume that she's gotten from Pask and other various dealers and vendors throughout her time. They're on shelves on the wall. It's not filling the wall. It's not ugly or anything like that. It's actually very well set in how all of her items are laid out. But there's no one there at the moment, but Pask just takes a seat at the dining room table.
I sit down, probably at the chair that's closest to the door we came in.
Okay.
That's fair.
Is this kind of like a long, skinny table, or?
It's not a long table.
Okay.
It's still rectangular, but it's on the shorter end. Looks like it was made to host probably between half a dozen and 10 people.
Okay.
By the looks of it. So
Can I take a look at the items that were there?
yeah, you can take a look at some of the stuff that she has. I don't know a whole bunch of weird Star Wars items that she might have, but
Like a jizz
there's-
box?
yeah, she might have one of those. Yeah. Maybe
Excuse
a
me?
few.
It's a musical instrument in the Star Wars universe.
It is.
The
Or
jizz
one of
box.
my college roommates' weirdest affectations.
Maybe she does have one of those. But there are things that at least Zabo Some of them he might recognize, a lot of them he probably wouldn't, just because they're uncommon and not well known to everybody. But that's one of the reasons why she likes to have some of this stuff, is because not everyone knows what it is. So
A rancor tusk.
perhaps, yes, I would say she probably have a Rancor tusk. Probably paid a lot for it too.
She doesn't want a cheap one.
It's definitely not a fake.
You know, baby Rancor tusks.
So you guys probably wait in the dining room for a few minutes. Pask, he's just waiting. Looks like he expects this kind of welcome. He's used to it when he comes to see the governor. She comes a few minutes later. There's one of the doors in the back opens, and extremely well dressed and fine looking woman walks through the door.
That's me.
And
I'm already in the room, Mike.
shh, I'm sorry, I was behind it a little bit, you know.
Just kidding.
And
Continue.
she walks in. She has a big smile on her face, and she says, "Pask, my friend Pask, how lovely to see you." And he says, "Governor, yes, I thought that it would be most wonderful if I could have dinner with you, and these are some of my associates who are in from off station, conducting some trades with me, trying to acquire some of their merchandise. But anyways, that's a topic for another time. Yes, I shall introduce them. This," and she points at Zabo first. "This is Zabo. Have you given him your last name, Zabo?"
Probably not.
Okay. Yeah, this
Actually,
is...
no, he's pretty well mannered. He would have said it.
Okay.
Would have said it.
He introduces you as Zabo Nasus, and then he moves down the table to... This is Lark. This is Eos, and that is Bibo.
I stand up and I go to shake her hand.
She shakes it. She says, "It was very lovely to meet you. Lark, was it? Yes?
Yes, Lark. Nice to
Yes.
meet you as well.
Very
you have
lovely
a-
dress."
Well, I appreciate it. I could only find such a lovely dress on this station.
Yes, we have some decent clothing here.
We have a lot
No,
of decent
I get-
shops.
I get a lot of mine from off station though. But we have some decent stuff here. Yes.
I just kind of take that as a cue that maybe it's not good enough for her, and I go sit down.
Do any of you else do anything?
I will
She has
shake her
lovely
hand as
skin.
well.
Okay.
I
She-
come around and I say hello and thank her for giving us an audience in such a lovely place.
It's my pleasure to give an audience to anyone who is friends with Pask. He has helped me acquire some quite unique items, and therefore I consider him a trusted contact. Anyway, shall we get to dinner?
Can
I'm
we?
starving.
And she kind of walks over to the wall and presses one of the panels, and then comes back and sits back down at the head of the table. And a few seconds later, servants come in with the food. It looks like exquisitely prepared food, but only the best for the governor, obviously. And you all get served some good food. Everyone except for Bibo. She doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you at the moment,
Sticking
Bibo.
physically close to Eos.
Yep. But, yeah.
Silence.
I kind of like look around for cues about like how to eat food with like manners, because Lark certainly does not know like the proper way to eat food.
Okay.
I mean, she knows how to eat like consume food well,
Right.
but she doesn't really know like what the right way is to eat a food. So she's like kind of
Let's see.
slow to pick up all the utensils and like maybe he's like watching what the the governess is doing, and like also Eos, because I mean she just doesn't really know if Eos has that sort of knowledge, so
Right.
Lark's just a little bit slow.
Um.
I've been around the galaxy a bit, so I've picked up on some of the different eating habits and in places where I've lived. So you could take some cues from me. You probably won't go wrong.
Sweet.
I just eat.
Yeah.
I don't chew with my mouth open.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's just standard, you know.
Standard
people
space
don't.
manners.
Yeah.
Not to eat with your black hole open.
Yeah. Throughout the course of dinner, she attempts to initially just make a small talk with you guys, talking about maybe things that you've done throughout the sector, what brought you here to the station, things like that. How or what kinds of things do you guys share? Do you make anything up about why you're here, or like where you've been, or are you fairly honest with some of the things that you've done throughout your life? Obviously, not telling her that you're part of the rebellion or anything, but what kinds of interaction does she get from you when she tries to make small talk?
I would probably comment on the Rancor tusk and talk about how I would used to hunt them on my homeworld and stuff like that. So
You used to hunt rancors.
yes,
And are you Pask? Is he one of your hunters who acquires your various assorted creatures? And he says, "Of course, yes. That's why he's here. He came in with with just a delivery of some basic. So he got some wontons from Hawk.
Some wontons?
some wand. Oh my!
I'm sorry.
Some
I'm a
fried
bad person.
wontons? You mean tauntauns?
Hey, I got Thai food on my mind.
Oh, God bless.
Some tauntauns and their various assorted creatures. Nothing that you haven't seen before, Governor. But yes, that's why he's here. Do you think that you play along with that, Zebu?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to look up a specific thing from my lore.
Sure.
Yeah. So I would probably be like, yes, I carried in a shipment of oh no, and he's like, he just kind of zones out for a second. Not like he's forgetting something. He just like legit, just like.
Well, while this is happening, Lark's just kind of like wide-eyed, like freaking out in her mind, like crap, this is going terribly, and just like puts like a fork-style utensil into like this giant chunk of meat that's on the table, and just like without thinking, just puts the whole thing in her mouth, and is just like,
Are you hungry?
I just like point to my mouth and keep chewing, like it's gonna take me a minute here, and
Where's
after a
she
minute,
from?
Just
That's
take
the moment.
your time.
and after I swallow, I'm like, well, not anymore, but thank you.
I suppose I could ask her if she has anything from my home planet, which I've never been to because I was born into slavery and the Hutt cartel took over. I think it's Ryloth? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, so I could ask her if she has any relics from the planet where my people are from, as I'm curious to learn about them. I suppose I could reveal that that I was a slave and that I justly bought my way into freedom and am seeking to expand my horizons.
She thinks for a minute and kind of takes a glance around the room at some of her items, and maybe casts a quick glance at Pask, and he gives a small shake of his head, and she's like, "No, I don't think I've acquired anything from that particular planet. Maybe someday though, you know."
Yeah. And I could say if I ever happened upon such a relic, I could pass it on to Pask, and perhaps she could bring it into her collection.
That would be most. Yes, I would love that very much. And
Well, hey, we should probably, cut to the chase. We're here, well, partially because we know Pask, and Pask's a good friend, and we always love to meet someone in such high esteem and regard as you. But the truth is, we're actually still looking for some of these oddities. Um, we've heard that there's maybe a couple. Um, I wouldn't call them smugglers. I would call them trade experts who fly around this station every now and then, maybe with an unmarked ship. Um, they tend to have some interesting goods, and we'd love to get in contact with them. Figured you're probably the best person to talk to about that.
hmm. Well, I would say uh, most things that come through this station, they end up in one store or another. Um, has Pask, does he not have anything of interest to you guys? He does have a good collection
Oh, it's
of,
certainly
of stuff.
not that Pask doesn't have anything interesting. It's for Pask's sake, we want to be able to supply him more. We're all, I mean, like Zabo is a hunter of his. We all tend to uh, work in the uh, how should I say this, retrieval of oddities.
Uh, I'm gonna emit a short series of friendly sounding beeps, uh, and kind of perk up. Not that I was asleep before, but I am drawing much attention to the fact that I am now in the room.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start, kind of worrying up a little bit. Gonna say something like, uh, our trade routes are insufficient. Insufficient trade routes. Searching protocol for fresh bounty. User Pask. Insufficient trade routes. Insufficient trade routes.
Okay.
I
And then I'm just gonna kind of turn like maybe 40 degrees in the opposite direction of who I was talking to, and stop speaking.
Cool. Cool. Um, so with that, I assumed that you're trying to drop hints that you're looking for this convoy, right?
yeah, we're
Yes.
totally
Without-
trying to get her to. Instead of being like, look, where's the convoy? We're being like, oh yeah, convoy is cool. I bet it's got some weird stuff. We'd love to get a hold of that so we could sell it better for you and for Pask.
Mhm.
She says, well, we don't have any convoys coming in that have oddities in the near future.
What of any odd convoys?
Mm.
She stops for a second.
An odd convoy typically has oddities, but it may not advertise them as such. Just like these artifacts, beautiful I might add, you have here, if no one knows what they are, they also don't know the value.
She casts a glance over at Pask with a kind of questioning look and waves him over, and they have a whispered conversation at their end of the table. And after an uncomfortable few minutes, probably, worth of that conversation, then they separate. Pask goes back to his table, and she's stroking her chin a little bit.
Question.
Look,
How
yeah.
was this food served? Was it like served like family style, or did they put it like on a plate in front of you and that's just what you had?
Family style, probably.
All right, I grab another one from with whatever I'm eating from the middle, like while they're talking,
Okay.
and I'm just like eating it while they're not looking, like super into it. Stinking delicious.
Yeah, I'm stuffing my face too.
Okay. After their conversation, let's see. Before we do that, can I get you, Lark, to make a... Let's see what kind of a check. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Deception
Oh, totally.
check. Let's see. Hope not. Okay, should be ready to go ahead and do that. Oh, bam. There you go.
Ooh.
I done lied.
So, after her and Pask's conversation, then she sits there for a few more seconds in silence, contemplating, and then looks at you, Lark, and she just says, "Now, information regarding that particular kind of convoy is not something that can be paid for simply by..." And she pauses for a second and says, "good company." Kind of straining that last part a little bit. If you know what I mean.
I understand, and you would be foolish to think that we would come here and talk to you about this without planning to give you some of the oddities we find. In fact, think of it like a finder's fee.
I'm just gonna like slump again to the side and repeat in the same, I guess, jagged speech. What's the name of this station again?
Martel Station.
Martel Station key point, key trade route point. Over
Okay.
and over, quietly.
He says, "I think that information regarding that kind of convoy, I think that it might be worth 1,200 credits."
All right, 1,200 credits worth for the finder's fee, then. First 1,200 we find in oddities, it's all yours.
No, you don't understand. You give me the 1,200 credits now, and then I tell you about any possible convoys that fit that description. And if you don't, then I call the guards.
How many guards are in the room currently?
There's no guards in the room currently, but she's the governor of the station.
That doesn't
She
mean
just
shit
has
to
to
me.
she just has to press a button, and she can have as many guards as she wants in this room in a fairly short order.
Can I roll a perception check to find out where that button is in proximity to her?
Go ahead.
Do I need to wait for you to mess with the dice pool?
Let's see. I'm gonna leave it the way it is.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oof.
Oof.
Okay.
Okay, so what?
How do I want to make this? You're gonna get.
I'm literally just looking for like.
Can I?
You're
for the
gonna
button.
get.
It's a distraction here.
Can you be a distraction? No.
And it's a skill.
So you're gonna take a strain because of that threat.
Sure.
And she has a. It looks like a wristwatch that she's holding her both her hands in her lap, with one of her hands, her right one, kind of overlapping that watch. And you think that that would probably be her panic button, if you will.
Okay.
And because, let's see, I want to see what I can do with that triumph, because I want to do something with it. Yeah. What kind of an advantage would you be looking for, like, with this information?
I would love to know if it's possible for me to remove the option for a guard call before she gets the chance to do it.
Where did you say that you were sitting?
I'm sitting next to Eos. I'm at the end of the table closest to the door that we entered from.
Okay, so Eos is in between you and her then. There wouldn't be any feasible way to argue that you could get to her before she has a chance to press the button. So I would say that what we could use that triumph for is just in the event that she does get that button pressed, you would be able to essentially have her as a hostage. She would have time to press the button, but you would be able to get a hold of her before any guards show up. Is that fair?
Sure. I just don't know if taking the governor hostage is necessarily the correct move, considering we're trying to subtly get aboard a ship.
Well, is there any other way that you can think of that you would feasibly?
Do I have that Imperial uniform handy?
You don't have it on, no, and it would look weird for you to be carrying around an Imperial uniform under your arm, right?
Correct. I didn't know if Pask had it with him or anything.
No, he doesn't.
So she basically just said, "You got to give me 1,200 credits, or I'm calling the guards."
Essentially.
Okay. I simply ask her.
Or she also says, or you can leave right now, and I'll forget this ever happened.
I kind of look around at the rest of the party and.
You have skills, Matt.
I'm very aware that I have some skills.
You have negotiation or anything like that?
Hell no. I have cool.
Or maybe if we had a diplomat career character in our party who has negotiation skills, he would be able to assist us.
I have this cool thing, and it says that one of the things it does is I can check for initiative in a social situation / discussion where timing matters. Does that? That's just what happens when I hover over it. That's what it says.
Cool is used for as far as initiative is concerned. It's for prepare. It's if you're prepared for combat. When combat happens, then you roll that for initiative.
I mean, it does specifically say that he can resist efforts to hide the truth among overt niceties.
Yeah.
True. So, what kind of truth? Or
it's apparent to me, given the way she reacted, that there is in fact some sort of secret thing here.
Obviously, yes. You guys know that there is a secret thing here, and
right.
What's happening here is that you've attempted to be covert about it and not direct and forward with her, and she's asking for a bribe, right?
Sure.
And she wants you to pay that bribe in order for her to give you the information.
Okay. Go ahead, Anthony.
I mean, we haven't really talked about what you want out of this campaign as far as ground rules. I mean, should we be speaking in turn? Anything I say to Matt here would be kind of metagaming it. I'm not sure what you want from us.
So, as far as metagaming and stuff like that is concerned, typically, we try to discourage any exchange of information that couldn't happen between characters directly. That doesn't mean that you guys aren't allowed to have any kind of conversation outside of character. What kind of thing would you like to? You're wanting to speak to Matt, correct? Not to Lark about something.
No, I would want to speak to Lark.
So but just without. Like you want Lark to know something. It would be feasible to say that you could bend over and whisper something in Lark's ear if you want, if you're nearby.
We also have a comm link.
Okay,
Sure, go ahead.
You first.
I was just going to say, we have comm links. You could potentially, in your robot silence, transmit a message without verbally communicating it.
Okay. I'd like to do that.
Okay, I'll accept
Lark's
that.
Ear.
Yeah. What
And I
would you like to tell Lark?
to push my button?
To push your button. I
Okay,
wonder if does Lark know what that means? Because I don't.
I've only got one button.
I kind of like I do this thing where I'm gonna act like I'm like afraid because I certainly haven't been trying like I'm gonna hold on to my my persona, if you will, of I'm just a trader of oddities and we just want to get the stuff. So I kind of like I push out from the table and I kind of back up with my hands up and I'm like, whoa, ma'am, no, that's certainly not what we intend. We can go. We can walk out the door right now. I'm so sorry. Ma'am, this food was delicious. Everything was great. Guys, I think we need to leave. I think we've overstayed our welcome. And as I'm walking past past Bebo, I kind of like because I'm kind of like walking over to her and in kind of a friendly manner, maybe trying to like shake her hand again just to leave. I kind of like graze this button on Bebo. And I just push it very lightly behind like where she can't see it. Do I need to roll
Sure.
stealth check or anything for that?
Yes. Go
Stealth?
ahead. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
All right.
she may have seen that one.
So
that's fine. It's fine to see the button press.
yeah,
She should see the button press.
she sees you attempting to press the button, and manages to grab your hand before you can press it, and says, "What exactly is this?"
Can I, when she like grabs my hand, can I roll like an athletics check or something to like sneak a knee up there or something? Like and act like I was stumbling, like, oh, you got me, and then like in the elbow, like right there.
How clumsy can you be, Lark?
You're attempting
Just
to make
clumsy
it.
enough.
You're attempting to make it look like,
Like when she grabbed my hand, I wasn't expecting it, and I like kind of got knocked off balance and like, oh, hit the button again.
let's see. Let's tell you to make. What kind of check would that be?
I don't know.
Would it be like
Coordination?
No.
maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think that's an agility. So,
Sure, I can make a coordination check.
yeah, let me hold on a second.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just leave it like
All
that.
right, here we go, boys.
No.
Oh.
Oh,
No, you're not quite able to make it look like you're doing it on accident.
I'm completely
you-
still during this entire exchange, the whole thing, entirely still.
But you are able to hit that button.
Okay.
What does the button do, Bevo?
Well, the button does nothing. I'm going to make the biggest show possible that I was in like low power state the whole time. I want all my lights to be brighter. I want to stiffen up, kind of jostle around, make the best. I've just got turned on, not turned on, but you know, I'm now on show that I possibly can for somebody that knows nothing about a droid. This needs to be convincing.
Okay.
And I, say, what time is it?
Game time.
Like in game?
Yeah, what is this a dinner? Really?
Yeah.
Is this, an
Yeah,
evening?
it's dinner.
A good evening, ma'am. I am Bebo 274, protocol droid. Greetings.
I go, he's much better at talking than I am. I have soiled this whole thing. I am so sorry, ma'am. And I like, when she's holding onto my wrist, I just kind of like grab her hand and like shake it, like loosely. Like, I'm just like, okay.
I'm gonna
so sorry.
physically put
So
my
hold on a
hands-
second. You're jumping to things here.
Okay.
So, because there's things happening,
Oh yeah.
So, what's gonna happen here is that you hit his button with your knee, and like as that happens, she has a hold of your wrist, and she's gonna like pretty much attempt to flip you over like onto the ground and throw you down. So let's see.
All right,
We're
can I
gonna
make any check?
what is let's see what stat am I looking for here?
Brawl.
Brawn probably.
There's an actual brawl combat skill. I don't know if that matters, but
I mean, I can
If
see
you
this
want,
happening,
if you
right?
want to, like, we would use brawl if you want to actually try to fight and resist this. But
I'm wearing
just,
a dress, and I don't know how to wear a dress.
Yeah, I'm just seeing how hard it is for her to throw you over, essentially.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm gonna use brawn for that.
Okay.
And
I have a brawn of 2.
do that and roll. So yeah, she's able to, like, it doesn't look incredibly graceful. You can tell she probably has very basic hand-to-hand combat training,
Sure.
and she throws you on the ground and then like grabs a kitchen knife off the table or something and is and then Bebo does his thing, you know, whatever you're doing, and she freezes when he starts talking.
Should we stop there?
Yes.
All right.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we're gonna call it. I am on the ground, being thrown around by the governor of the station. What's it called one more time?
Martel Station.
Martel Station. All because I was just trying to sell some oddities, you know.
You got thrown. Trying to push my button.
Well, that's true. That's true.
She didn't know what
Try
that
to
button
push-
was, you know?
Hey, you tried to push his button to turn him on. So
Oh yeah.
She sees a robot, some lady trying to walk up and press a button. You know, you don't know what thoughts are going through her head.
That's fair. Yep, she's got protection to do. All right. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and call it. Let's wrap it up with just a brief shout out from everyone. If anyone has anyone that they want to shout out, Mike, why don't you go ahead and start?
Sure. So I am Michael Yater. You know, let's see. My Facebook is obviously just Michael Yater, and on Twitter I'm just at Michael Yater. If you want to do any following on there, I say funny things once in a while, you know. But right now, all I'm really doing as far as my life on the internet is this. I might look into doing other things in the future if this goes well, but I play role-playing games a lot because I love them. But other than that, yeah, that's me.
All right, Anthony, how about you?
Shouts out to George Lucas.
Yeah.
He made Star Trek. Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
We're actually invading the Enterprise.
Shoot.
You know?
Wow, spoilers, Mike. All right, Emily, how about you?
Well, I am M Mighty Sophia on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and I do TV reviews and such. So that's me.
Cool. What about you, Ian?
Hi, I'm Ian, like Matt just said. My last swan song on Twitter. I can't guarantee anything out of that, honestly. I'm not that entertaining. So that's about it.
Cool. Well, yeah, I just want to. Last time we did this, I shouted out Adam Coble,
Yes.
and the roleplay crew who first did Age of Rebellion for a kind of almost a one-shot thing. So if you want to check out what they did for this, it was really cool. It's on ItMeJP's YouTube channel, and you can just find an Age of Rebellion thing. I think it's continuing onward now. Also want to shout out Gio, Actobunny Fufu, for hosting the channel while we're streaming. Thanks for that, man. Hope everyone from his channel has enjoyed. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back next Tuesday, I believe at 6 or 6:30, guys. Which one?
I'm down for
Yes.
either.
I can be there.
6:30 probably better.
Okay, then we'll do 6:30. So we'll be back 6:30 Pacific time, and we'll be going for roughly the same amount of time. And we look forward to figuring out what happens on this station. Thanks for watching,
Yeah.
everyone, and have a good night.